What's up, everyone? Wingnut here from Wingnuts RC. Today's going to be a follow-up video on yesterday's short about my Hobbywing ESC issues. Unfortunately, they still have not been resolved, so this is going to go over some of the troubleshooting that I had to go through. Most of it I did before I talked to Hobbywing. The rest of it is stuff that they suggested when talking to their tech specialist. Unfortunately, he seemed like more of a salesman, and I'll go over some of that as well in this video. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. The Hobbywing ESC that I'm running is the Just Stock ESC, and it's hit or miss. I've had some good reviews about it. I've had some bad things with it. It does work good when it works. However, I've had a lot of issues with it binding to the receiver since I put it in. Almost every time I use it, I have to mess with it for at least a couple seconds and mess with the throttle trim. And then usually it binds right up and it'll work good. However, yesterday when I went to use it, it would not work at all. I messed with it for a while with the receiver that was hooked up to it. I switched out to a Traxxas Link, which is out of my one Wraith. I know that that one works. It is an older one, but I love these controllers. They're not very good for one-handed driving if you're filming, but there's a ton of settings in these, and you can really dial your car in with them. So it's a cool one. It's old. You know, you can pick them up real cheap. So I have that hooked up there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm having the issue with. I'm going to turn the receiver on, or the radio rather. And then I'm going to power up the ESC. And here's the issue that I have. It just beeps and flashes a green LED. Now, one of the first things that they told me to check was they said 99.9% of the time it's not an issue with their ESC, that it's an issue with the receiver or, you know, just user error. And I knew that wasn't the case. You know, I'm not an idiot. I've been in the hobby for a long time. I'm no expert, but, you know, I can usually figure stuff out. So I had already tried this, and I actually swapped out receivers just to double check that. And I put another ESC in here last night as well, and it worked with the other ESC, no problem. That was a Castle ESC. Never had an issue with one of those, knock on wood. I have the original ones in my Axial Yeti, and they work awesome, the motor and the ESC. So, you know, I can't say anything bad about Castle. And, you know, I might actually go with one of them in here in the future, because right now I don't feel like spending more money on a Hobbywing, not after what I've dealt with. So basically, we'll get into that. What they suggested that I do is to check the throttle output on my receiver was to switch the servo into the number 2 slot, the channel 2 slot rather, not the number 2, because on this there's 2 number 1s. And I did that. I'll do it again here on camera. So we're going to go ahead and pop the ESC lead out of the receiver. Pop the servo lead out. We're going to switch the servo lead to the channel 2, 1 to turn, 2 to burn. And then we're going to put the ESC into the battery port on the receiver to give it power. All right, there we go. Then we're going to power it up again here. All right, now with the throttle, it is equal proportions both ways, so therefore my throttle is working on the radio and the receiver as I already knew it was. But you know, you just gotta go through some steps to make them happy sometimes. But obviously it's not a receiver issue, it's not a channel issue, it's a ESC issue. So we're gonna go ahead and power that off, switch these back. ESC back into the channel 2, servo back into the channel 1. Make sure the grounds and everything, and the hots are in the right spot. We're good there. And we're going to power it back up. Again, still doing the same problem. So as I was going through this, I found another issue that it could be the problem, or it could just be added to it. Now, normally the green light flashes on this particular ESC, which actually we'll say Hobbywings in general. If it's a censored ESC, there's two modes that you can put it on, censored and sensorless. Now, from factory, it comes in sensor mode automatically. So I tried to get into the settings to possibly switch that off, thinking that could have been the issue. And whenever I went to do that, I realized that I can't get into that setting. So we'll go through and I'll show you this. Now, in order to get into the settings mode, you have to hold the set button down on the power switch and then flip the power switch on. Hold it for 3 seconds, and that's supposed to get you into now. It did something. Now we're in that mode. So that tells me that there's an issue with that switch. Before, that switch was not working. Now on camera it decides to work. So we're going to try to get this calibrated now. We're going to switch that back off, back on. Same thing. Right now I'm trying to adjust the throttle trim to see if possibly that's the issue, now that I did get the switch to work. But it doesn't seem to be working. I'm going through the entire range of the throttle trim very slowly, and it's not picking anything up. So yeah, that tells me that there's some issue there. So we're going to try to get back into this and see if we can factory reset it. Actually, first I want to try to calibrate it. So we're going to try that. Again, we're going to power it off, hold the set switch, 3 seconds. Let that off. Now it's not going into that. So now that switch isn't working again. Now I don't know if this is a switch issue or if it's an issue with the hardware inside of the ESC, but something has it locked in this thing and it's not doing anything. Alright, so I'll try to mess with that some more off camera, and if I do get it working, I'll do an update video. I'll probably be a short video. But, you know, look forward to that. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed already, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the update on this. But right now where I stand, if I can't get this working, I don't think I'm going to go with Hobbywing again. At first, it seemed like the tech guy wanted to help me. He gave me a couple, you know, pointers, which was stuff I already did, which made me feel like he was trying to put the blame on something else. Like he literally said 99.99% of the time, it's not an issue with the ESC, it's that the person doesn't know what they're doing, or it's a bad receiver, blah, blah, blah. You know, pointing the blame everywhere but at himself, well, at their company. I don't like that, you know. The amount of money that we spend on these, I have, you know, 40, 50 some cars. That's a lot of ESCs, and none of those other cars are going to be getting a Hobbywing anytime soon. And like I said, I think this one I'm going to probably either switch over to a Castle or a Spectrum possibly. I've had good luck with those as well. So one of those might end up in here. I'm not positive yet. I don't like the Hobbywing. I don't like that I can't get this working. And when I was trying to talk to the guy, you know, he wasn't very helpful. He gave me a couple of things to try to point the blame on somebody else, and then as soon as we verified that it was an issue with the ESC itself, he tried selling me a new one. He said I could send it back to him and pay them, you know, shipping, and then I live on the East Coast. That's to the West Coast. I'd have, you know, 20 bucks in that at least, if not more. And then I'm going to have to pay them to go through, diagnose it, and fix it. You know, by the time I do that, I can go buy another one of these ESCs, a brand new one, or go to another brand that I'm probably not going to have an issue with, and it's going to be the same price. He also said I can upgrade, which they'll give me like a credit towards this one, which I have to hand in then, and then they'll give me an upgrade credit on a better one. Well, I don't really want to do that because I don't want to spend more money on something from a company that I don't trust now. And it really sucks because Hobbywing is a very big name in the company or in the industry and everything, and I can't say I like them. I can't say that you know, they're gonna have my business from here on out. And I even explained to them, you know, I do this channel and all that, and that I would be doing a review after, you know, I get to the problem, or get the problem figured out, or don't get the problem figured out and get to a point where I have to buy a new one. So that's where I'm at now. And you know, Hobbywing, if you're watching this, maybe you can get my support back if you send me some stuff that works. I'd be more than happy to try it out on here and give an honest opinion and review on it. And if you send me a good one, you know, you'll get good reviews with my viewers. But where we stand right now, this is what I have to work with, and I'm not happy with it. So from here on out, Hobbywing, done. Castle, Spectrum, hell, even my stock Traxxas works pretty damn good compared to this thing. Sorry, Hobbywing. Anyway, this is Wingnuts RC. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe, hit that like button. Feel free to comment down below if you've had issues like this and you found a resolve for it. Please let me know. You know, I'll more than happy to try it. If it works, you know, awesome, I'll make a video of it, and we'll share that with the rest of the viewers here. But yeah, until next time, this is Wingnut from Wingnuts RC. Peace.